We've got you covered all season long. Welcome to the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Here it is, Season 3, Episode 9 of the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go, sports bar. Brandon Carnes here with Justin Feldkamp and, of course, Coach Mike Robb joining us. Gentlemen, we are through 8 weeks. We are on to Week 9. Playoffs are looming. Is there a team that you see that is in the right spot? They're getting hot when they need to for playoff time. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of area teams, when you expand outside of Toledo into the greater Northwest Ohio region, that have proven that they can go on some long playoff runs. And I just jotted down teams within each division. So I'd say D1, I got Perrysburg and Whitmer that can make, and I want to categorize this. I think a playoff run is you win 2 or more games. So everybody who I'm about to list is 2 or more games. Perrysburg, Whitmer in D1. In D2, I got Anthony Wayne. In D3, I got Central Catholic. In D4, I got Perkins. In D5, I got Liberty Center and Oak Arbor. D6, Patrick Henry, Hopewell Loudon, Ottawa Hills, and Huron. In D7, Gibsonburg and Eden.
All right, Mike Robb.
Hey, I'm going to keep it real simple.
Yep.
We going back to back to back. I still think Central Catholic is in the driver's seat in Division III to be able to take a state championship. And then also looking at the Clay Eagles, I think that they really got a shot to win a couple games and potentially go on a run.
D2 is brutal, man.
It is
D2 and D1 are both brutal.
Yeah, we were looking at those before the podcast.
St. Ignatius is a 16 seed.
Scariest.
I saw this yesterday. So St. Ignatius, bear with me. St. Ignatius is a 16 seed.
Yeah.
They would currently play Menor, which is the 1 seed.
Yes.
That was a 1-possession game. The two teams have already played.
Yeah.
And a 1 and a 16 was a 1-possession game. Just keep that in mind, D1 fans.
Yeah, they have had the craziest schedule. We were looking at it before the podcast. Yeah. That is the craziest schedule I've ever seen for a high school team to play. 1-7, 16 seed, but they have played an insane gauntlet.
Yes.
I'm ride or dying, as you already know, with my mommy Panthers, all right? They had a 2-game skid setback. It really tested their mettle. They found out where they were on a winning streak. They're ready to roll. Mommy Panthers, they're my pick. They're going to get a run in the playoffs. Ride or die with Coach Karchner. Coming up this week, we'll get you caught up on everything that happened in Week 8, as well as obviously what's coming up this week. We got our Family House Player of the Week and, of course, our Game of the Week preview. So much more. Check in every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. for brand new episodes of the BCSN Nation podcast, or go anywhere you get your audio mediums, or bcsnnation.com/podcast, and follow at BCSN Sports on every social media account you can think of. We are there. Make sure you don't miss an update throughout the week. Now, gentlemen, time to bicker. All right, agree to disagree. Which team of the 2 major, I think, turnarounds we've seen this season, Mommy, St. Francis, are 2 of the big, okay, we're back in business teams. Who has had the bigger turnaround of those 2 teams? Mike Robb, you can go first.
Well, I'll say it started last year with Maumee, getting the thing ship turned around. I would say St. Francis 100%, going through so many different coaches. Finally getting a coach that you can land on and seeing the progression of this team from week 1 to now. Yeah. I think that this is probably the best job done so far, and especially at a school like that that's had a struggling history of having coaches turn this program around. So I give it to St. Francis.
Yeah, there's a looming history at St. Francis of what they have done, and it hasn't been there. And even week 1, you say since week 1, but they showed up and we're like, oh, this is a team. Like they played Perrysburg hard. And we're like, okay, maybe turn some eyes over to Bancroft and see what's going on, Justin.
100%. One, kudos to you. Great question. It's a difficult response, in my opinion, because both have been outstanding last year for Maumee and into this year, and then this year for St. Francis. And talking to both of these coaches, both of them fully admit that they have plenty of work to do. Yes, they have accomplished significantly accolades, accomplishments, achievements inside their program. Right. But they have plenty of work to do to get to where they want to go, Evan Karchner and Josh Lemke. But I took a look at the history of the records dating back to 2017, because in my opinion, that was the last solid Maumee team. They went 6-4. They beat Perrysburg in the Battle of the Ding Dong Bell in week 10. Since then, 18 through now, 0-10, 1-9, 0-9, 0-10, 0-10. 2023, 5-5. 2024, 6-2 thus far. For St. Francis, 2019, I think, was their last legit team, the last team that contended against Central Catholic, and we'll bring that up coming up later in the podcast. They went 6-5 that season. 2020, 6-3. 2021, 4-7. 2022, 2-8. 2023, 1-9. 2024, 6-2, just like Maumee thus far. And Mike Robb brought up the coaches, 6 coaches in 5 years.
Yeah.
And no program can withstand that type of turnstile
doesn't matter who you are.
and revolving door of a coaching staff. So I think it's a great question. I think both of them could be valid responses and correct answers.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll go St. Francis just because of the newness of it. We've seen this coming since last year because Maumee is taking those building block steps, and I think St. Francis is doing it this year the same way.
Yeah, massive culture changes for both of those teams over the last year or two, if in case of Maumee, that have put them back into a driver's seat, both in playoff contention. So now go to another team that is locked into playoffs. They've locked down at least a share of the Buckeye or of the Cardinal division is Clay. They've slammed the door shut. We said that was the tightest, most open division. It's not anymore. Clay's taking control. There is, though, going to be another 3-way tie atop the Buckeye division. Am I wrong? Argue with me. Go ahead, Justin.
All right, so Clay finishes up its Cardinal division against Southview this Friday.
Correct.
So they win it outright.
They've already got a share.
That would be the first title since 1982 for Clay. Coach John Gallius was a sophomore on that 1982 team. So credit to what he's been able to build. And that senior class is pretty special. They've won since they were peewees, won at junior high, won as freshmen, and continue to win now as seniors on varsity. So Clay, yes, definitely in the driver's seat. So basically this question about the 3-way tie for the Buckeye.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. Essentially, you arrive at the answer by saying who is going to win Week 10, Perrysburg at Anthony Wayne.
Right, we're building up the hype already, baby.
Correct, because Anthony Wayne should take care of business. They've already beaten Whitmer, and they've already beaten Findlay. So if they win out, they're going to be the outright champs. So if you're picking Perrysburg to beat Anthony Wayne, then we're looking at a 3-way tie between Perrysburg, Anthony Wayne, and most likely Whitmer. Whitmer should take care of business in the last 2 weeks. As of now, results on the field matter. And I'm going to say, as of now, I would say Anthony Wayne will win Week 9 and will win a close battle between Perrysburg. I haven't done all my research on that matchup because it's still a week away. And we're just like the coaches, 1 week at a time, baby.
1 week at a time.
But
I'm making sure I let Coach Kriegel know your pick already, though.
I say that Anthony Wayne, I think, has the slightest of advantages because we've seen Whitmer kind of go up and then down, and we've seen Perrysburg riding high, and then they kind of got smacked in the face for the first 3 quarters against Whitmer at Steinecker Stadium. So I'd say as of right now, Anthony Wayne has proven on the field that they can do it both offensively and defensively.
All right, Mike Robb, real quick. I know you loved the 3-way tie last year. It was going to happen again.
Well, you know what? 2 years ago, for the past 2 years, they've beaten up on Perrysburg, but 3 years ago they didn't.
Yeah.
History repeats itself. I don't know if they can get 3 in a row. I think this is a 3-way tie we're falling ourselves into going into the end of the year.
Somebody's trying to stay in Matt Kriegel's good graces on one side of the table. The other one doesn't care.
I honestly believe it. I think Perrysburg is just getting better as it goes on. And honestly, Anthony Wayne is a very, very good football team, but Perrysburg still has their best football in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how that shakes out. Obviously, we'll talk plenty about that big matchup next week. But for now, we got to get into our player of the week, brought to you by Family House Cisco. You know what to do. We have ranted and raved aplenty about Mason Heinzel at Clay, but he's got to throw the ball to somebody. And last week, my goodness, was Troy Hazuda the guy catching the ball. 7 catches, 175 yards, a touchdown. That touchdown was 87 yards, no big deal. In that win over Napoleon, that helped secure them at least a share of that Cardinal side tie, the first since 1982 that Justin brought up. Troy Hazuda absolutely was dominant. He's been a reliable target, like you talked about, for Mason Heinzel their entire lives growing up. So kudos to him. They talked about those senior group of guys that decided to stay. They were going to stick it out. They were going to find their way to win that championship. Shout out Troy Hazuda, our Family House Player of the Week. We'll make it together. And, of course, we'll make it together right back after this 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings, buy one, get one free. Boneless Thursdays saved me so much cash. I can finally do everything I've ever wanted in life, like skydiving. You ready? No, this was a mistake, a huge mistake. I want to go back. I want to go back. Go, go, go! Yeah, I'll probably just use the money I saved to get more buy one, get one free boneless wings at B-Dubs. No brainer. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
All right, there's another team looking to make their way to another state title game, and that's coming on the 8-man side of things. Toledo Christian this week hosting Holgate, who they met in last year's state final game at Bowser. This one will be. They beat beat Holgate twice last season. A huge state final matchup in the regular season on the 8-man side of things. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, both of these teams were kind of the pioneers in the 8-man football conference
north
league
of the border,
setup.
pioneer.
Yeah, and I think that they have done really well in kind of navigating what 8-man football is going to look like. Yeah. And Coach Andrew Skills for Toledo Christian kind of embraced it. I know in speaking with him and reading about what he's done, he kind of reads about it. 8-man football is not new across the country. It's been sanctioned by the MHSA up in Michigan for a number of years, and it's kind of growing in some respects into the some of the smaller schools in the state of Ohio. But he has kind of laid the blueprint and designed the blueprint of how to compete and how to win. And these two teams have had some battles. TC has had the upper hand in the most recent years, but Holgate has beaten TC before. So these teams could meet again in the postseason. But what I like about 8-man football, one, it's kind of it occurs because of circumstances. You have smaller schools, enrollment is smaller, the amount of kids who are going to come out for football. If you can't sustain an 11-man program, I wish that certain schools would just embrace 8-man and give your kids an outlet as opposed to just letting them go. Give them that option, or talk to the kids and talk to the families to see, okay, if we make this decision, go from 11-man to 8-man, are you on board? And at TC, the answer has been a resounding yes.
Oh, yeah.
And the roster is full of multi-sport athletes. And Mike, Rob, and you guys, Carnes, I am an advocate for multi-sport athletes.
Absolutely.
100% not single sport specialization, especially in the junior high ranks and younger, and then even into varsity sports. Parents need to listen. The small percentage of student athletes who go on to play college sports at any level, D3, NAIA, D3, D2, D1, extremely small. Let the kids go play and have fun and gather everything that they need for team building, for work ethic, for discipline, for exercise, weightlifting, weight training, getting coaching from more than just one person for one sport. And that is what TC has embraced across the board. We talk about Carter Kester. He's been fantastic at everything. And I like this matchup, and we'll have it live on BCSN Plus, the BCSN Plus app. But yeah, this should be a juicy matchup. But TC, right in lockstep with Holgate, averaging 45 plus points a game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to lean into for Mike Robb here. 48 points a game for Holgate, 47.3 for TC. TC only gives up 5.8 points a game. Holgate just about 14. So it's good offense, good defense. Where do we end up in this mix for both of these teams?
Which team has Carter Kester?
I think that's our guys.
Yeah, all right. That's what I'm thinking. So I think this is a team that innovated the game of 8-man football around here. They were the pioneers. They kind of got this thing going, and they also won the state championship versus this team again too. So you look at it, I think as long as Carter Kester in high school, he's still got like 4 more years.
Let's keep him here forever. I'm down.
They're going to be as dominant as they have been. He's going to be a highlight reel machine. And I can't wait to see him in basketball, just to touch on the 2-man sports.
Multi-sport, baby.
This kid is a phenomenal athlete. Yeah. And as long as he's on the field, he's an X factor. And I think this is a game that we should see TC take control of.
Yeah, he was just that in the state title game last year. 2 receiving touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He brought 1 back for a touchdown. That was a 46-6 win for TC. We're hoping it goes that way this week. You want more breakdown of this? Go to our social media. Check out Mike Jewell and his Jewell's Gems breakdown of this, brought to you by Ballast Buick GMC. Mike Jewell, the Pigskin Professor, knows all about this 8-man football mix-up. He'll get you sorted out. But for now, we got to go to our clip of the week, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Do it, Cisco. All right, Little Giants, big plays. Southview lined up for a punt. Get up. Block. Right man, right place. That's Talon Brown on the block. And then Jackson Mackey on the spot for the scoop. and score. This ended up being the game-winning score for Fremont Ross in this big Cardinal matchup. You look at you see the replay. We lost it for a second. Where'd the ball go? Oh, Jackson Mackey's got it. He knew where the ball was. He beat the camera. He found it, took it to the end zone. Just wait till it gets here. I slowed it down a little bit for you guys. Get up. Just gets a finger on it. And then great job by Jackson Mackey just finding where the heck that ball was to take it to the house.
Special teams matter, people.
Special teams, special players.
Teams matter. It is a difference in this game. And if you look across all kinds of film across Northwest Ohio, all over the country, honestly, special teams can be a difference maker. This happened in the third quarter. So in the 2-minute drives or 4-minute drives in the final moments, that's when the game's on the line. No. It's happening in the first quarter, the second quarter, here in the third quarter with 45 seconds to go. And Southview's 2 guys on the right side of that line let a guy in.
Yeah.
They let a guy in, okay? For the most part, yes, athleticism makes a difference, and
for sure,
credit to the kids who make the plays. But in general, when a spectacular play happens like this,
somebody probably missed
someone didn't do their job.
Yeah.
Someone or one or 2 or 3 people didn't do what they're supposed to do.
Somebody didn't do their job, and somebody on the other side did. You see that Talon broke through 2 guys.
Double, yeah.
He split a double team. That's an individual effort right there.
Yep.
And also, Johnny on the spot right there, he has to play baseball, I'm convinced.
Scoop that grounder.
That ball,
yeah.
He sawed off the one bounce, picked it up, and just ran and kept his stride. That was awesome. Like you said, they stink. He put his hand up like, nah, yeah, look at it again. Look at this. Outrunning on angles. He looked like a guy that could probably play free safety for them and probably play wide receiver, and he looks like 𝗏𝗏 from the last year. So this is a really good football team. Fremont Ross, they got talent. They're coming back. They'll be a really good team next year.
Yeah, they were another team that was tested with a tough schedule to start the season, but they had, 3 nominees I probably could have put in this slot between Zaylin Harris's catch that's on Sports Center, or Sports Illustrated's high school page. They had the tackle for a loss that ended the game effectively and took 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's down in the backfield. They had 3 different plays that all made the difference in the 26-21 win for Fremont Ross. That is our clip of the week, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. You want more just like this, head over to our TikTok at BCSN Sports. Give us a follow, see that play, and so many more that come out every single week. And now it's time to shout out the student section, brought to you by Unison Health, a proud sponsor of high school sports here on BCSN. And Jacket Nation, the Swarm, the Hive, whatever you want to call them, they are ready every single week, and we are rewarding them. This week, they're taking on Springfield. The student section of the week belt is going to be there. Justin, who's bringing it to him?
That would be...
Drum roll.
Listen,
we got so many talented people.
Sherwin, I'm going to... I don't know.
You can make the decision. You're in charge. You can make the choice.
Nicole's
it's decided. Nicole, if you didn't know, you know. If you don't know, now you know, Nicole. And that is our student section of the week. Perrysburg this week, they're getting the belt. And now, game preview. We're moving forward to week 9. A big matchup when it comes to playoff seeding. We're staying in the Cardinal side of things. Bowling Green at Napoleon. Bowling Green beat up on Woodward 35-8 last week. Napoleon had a 35-14 loss to Clay. Both these teams still control their own destiny, though, when it comes to the playoffs. Win, stay in, get better positioning. What's it going to be? Justin, go ahead.
All right, so BG's an 8 seed in their region in D3. Napoleon a 13 seed in Division 4. Both of them have legit chances to win out and then secure at least one home playoff game. So that's what's on the line. And I think you got to keep in mind, if you're these teams, if you're saying, okay, we're looking up at Clay should beat Southview, so we're out of a potential 2-way tie, 3-way tie, or 4-way tie, whatever the case may be. Still plenty to play for. Plenty to play for. Every win matters when it comes to playoff seed positioning and the travel that could be involved for some of these teams in D.
Yeah, big swing.
1, 2, 3, 4, all 7 divisions. If you're going on the road, you may be going on the road for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah, let's stay close to home.
Early in the postseason. That's more understandable as you get deeper into the postseason. But you got to win and win now for both of these teams. And I think I'll give you a key stat, just in my opinion, between BG and Napoleon, both teams who want to establish the line of scrimmage and get the running game going, kind of maybe more so BG. I'd say they rely more on the running game as compared to Napoleon, but controlling the time of possession. I would say if you look at the stat sheet at the end of this game, whoever wins that category, time of possession, will be the victor. This game could be closer than maybe some people expect. But I could see this being a one-possession game.
Yeah, if I can keep Jay Shannon and Jackson Schaefer off the field and I'm Napoleon, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep that ball in my hands, give it to Eggers, Espinoza, Rubenstein, keep JC Shannon and Jackson Schaefer off the field. Good plan.
Yeah, this game is going to come down to attrition at the end. These are two teams that know how to keep the ball, keep away with the football.
Yeah, for sure.
This game could go really quick if you're a broadcaster. In this game, it may be done in an hour. But the one thing is, it's going to come down to big plays. I think big play potential is who wins this game. You look at, like you said, J.C. Shannon and Schaefer. Those two guys, they can make plays in a heartbeat. We've seen it already, offensively or defensively. But on the other side, it's the same exact thing.
Absolutely.
I really like Espinoza. Eggers is one of those guys that can control the game.
The rock.
He can control the game that way. And then you obviously know about their Kent State commit. So one thing is this. This is going to be a game, like Justin said, and I got 1,000% agree. Who has the ball longest and who can convert on third down?
Yeah, third downs are going to be huge. Oh, Parker Woods, another guy for Napoleon. He had 9 catches, 101 yards last week against Clay. This one will be decided at the line of scrimmage, but it'll also be decided on BCSN, the BCSN Plus app this Friday at 7 p.m. Now, wait no longer. It is time for our Game of the Week preview brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon. Cisco, do it. The Irish Knight. St. Francis Central Catholic. It's at the Glass Bowl. Guys, it's been a long time. 22 straight wins for the Irish in this matchup. You got to do something to change it. Josh Linsky's come in. He's changing the culture. We've talked about it. Is this the year they break the streak, Justin?
No, I don't think it's the year that they break it, but St. Francis, as we alluded to in the agree or disagree segment,
go in the right direction.
In the right direction. The last time St. Francis won the Irish Knight Trophy, 2003. So
none of these kids
decades.
were alive.
Yeah, I know.
That's what we're saying.
That's a good point. A number, the 22 in a row, that not necessarily 22 years in a row because they have played a couple times in the playoffs. So you factor that in as well. But in talking with both of these coaches earlier this week, I asked Coach Dempsey, when he took over the job, Central was in the midst of losing 11 in a row to St. Francis. So it was on the opposite side of the pendulum here. And I said, all right, what was your approach to closing that gap and flipping it and turning the tides? And he said, well, when you start out, you got to get better, obviously, but then you got to turn the rivalry game into a competition. It can't be a blowout. So you got to go from a blowout to keeping it close in a couple possessions. Then you got to battle hard, get it to a fourth quarter. Then you got to get it to overtime. Then you got to win close games. When they turned the tide, the final score was 7-6 when they broke that streak.
Fitting.
So they got to close the gap. And I know this applies to any and all sports at the high school level, college level, wherever the case may be. When there is a dramatic difference in the two teams in a rivalry game, you got to take those incremental steps. And in 2019, St. Francis won 20-0 and 20-10, 2 times that they played regular season and postseason. So not too long ago, 2019, this was a close battle. That was under Coach Dan Chipka, who's moved on to the college ranks. But I think that this game is a matter of offensive line. I was at the game between Central Catholic and St. Mary's this past week. In St. Mary's, you look at that final score, 7-6. Oh, what's wrong with Central Catholic? No. St. Mary's has 8 D1 kids. 3 of them are going to Michigan State. The other 5 are kind of MAC-level caliber players. So they knew, Coach Dempsey and the coaching staff at Central knew that it was going to be a battle against St. Mary's, a quality competitor. But for St. Francis's offensive line, Martin Garcia, Jaden Barron, Ethan Cotterman, Dylan Galloway, Dion Banks, and Jermaine Polk. Those guys are going to have to be ready to rock and roll and challenge that defensive line for Central Catholic, because if Central gets that running game going on the opposite side of the ball with Tyler Morgan,
tough to handle.
It's going to be a tough road to hoe for St. Francis. But this game, for general high school football fans in the area who want to see good games, I'm glad that St. Francis is rising up to make this a competitive matchup.
Yeah, talk me through, what do real deal Eli Beal and the Knights have to do to get it done in the Glass Bowl on Friday?
You know what? They got to bring everything with them. They got to
bring your lunch pail.
You got to bring everything, because this Central Catholic team, like I said, is poised to win another state championship.
Sure.
They're very talented, but at the same time, St. Francis, they're on the up and up. This is a very young football team, I'd add. You know, they do have some pieces that are older, but more importantly, this is a team that's looking to compete for Central Catholic, in my opinion, next year to win this game. I think it's going to be tough sledding for them to win this year. Central Catholic just has too many pieces. The coaching is there. I think coaching is always underrated. They got about 6 or 7 guys on their staff that was former head coaches. When you got that, you already know that you're going to stay in games like you play against St. Mary's, a team that's got all these Power 5 kids, and you can still go out there and win a close game like that. I think for St. Francis, Eli, Bill, and the boys, limiting turnovers, and they got to find a way to play on defense. They got to be able to slow down the defense. They got to keep Central Catholic off the field, and that's something that even the best teams in this area in the region has had a hard time doing. Are they beatable? Absolutely. They've lost already. This game right here is going to be extremely tough for St. Francis unless they can come out here and just find a way to hit big strikes. But you can't be too gimmicky, because if you get too gimmicky and get out of who you are, then you're going to get blown out.
Make
so
mistakes.
This game could easily go from a 50-point loss for St. Francis, or this could be a 7-point victory.
Yeah, it's going to be find a couple strikes early, really get them off of their momentum, off of their game, and then see if St. Francis can take it from there. We want to know who you think is going to take home the win on Friday. Let us know over on X on our Game of the Week poll that is pinned on our page until tomorrow at noon. Now we're heading back in time. BCSN era athletes, just like we've done every single week here on the podcast. We're going to St. Ursula. We're teeing up Lizzie Wynn, 2-time track golfer of the year, 4-time all-track member, 2-time second-team All-Ohio, 4 years she was all-district, averaged 75.75 strokes as a senior, lowest ever in St. Ursula history. Then went on to Seton Hall in college, where she was a Big East all-second-teamer 1 time and 3 times Big East all-first team. And then moved on to the Epson Tour, where she's made 13 different starts on the tees professionally. Shout out to Lizzie Wynn, one of our top 20 female athletes of the BCSN era. And we'll be right back after 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings.
I've saved so much money enjoying Buffalo Wild Wings BOGO half-off traditional wing Tuesdays. I can finally afford everything I've ever wanted in life. Wings. All I ever wanted was more wings. So yeah, buy one, get one half-off traditional wings is the perfect deal for me and my lifetime yearnings. I value it more than literally anything. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
You want chicken wings? You know where to go. You want games? You know where to stay, because it's up here on your screen right now. Our games list this Friday. Thursday, we got Bowser at Rogers, 6 p.m. on BCSN, and then plenty of action Friday. We talked about Game Day Tailgate, Central, St. Francis, Clay, Southview, Monroe, Bedford, Whitmer, Findlay, and a big Buckeye clash there. The BG Napoleon we talked about, and of course, Holgate, TC. Mike Rabb, I know you got something to say.
Yeah, I got to make an admission here. Earlier, talked about Anthony Wayne Perrysburg. Anthony Wayne has not beat Perrysburg at home since 2018. So that's part of the reason why I'm going with the Berg boys later on this.
And we'll get plenty more from that, especially next week. What else up here intrigues you, Justin?
All right, Game Day Tailgate going to the Glass Bowl, the home field for St. Francis for the first time ever in the 4 years that we've been doing Game Day Tailgate. We haven't had a valid reason to go to a St. Francis game until week 9 of the 2024 season. So we're looking forward to that. So the band and the cheerleaders, St. Francis student section, always balling out, looking good right there. Come visit us up on the concourse area at the Glass Bowl from about 6:20 to 6:45. Then you can retreat back to the student section. But we're looking forward to having a full presence of the Knights as they get ready to take on the Irish. Other matchups there. I think that Monroe Bedford game could be solid. Don't sleep on Findlay just yet. I think Whitmer, don't overlook Findlay, Whitmer, if you're looking at that matchup.
Smart. Yeah,
we talked about BG, Napoleon, and Holgate TC, so a lot of juicy matchups there. We'll have it all covered for you. Game Day Nation and Game Day Overtime coming up this Friday, baby.
There it is. We got plenty else. Give a shout out to Tyson Anderson, one of our top 20 male athletes. Got a game ball for the win over the Giants for the Bengals for his special teams contributions. That's all we got for today, though. We'll be right back next Wednesday, 4 p.m. for a brand new episode of Fast Deflections. for a brand new episode of the BCSN Nation podcast,
break
anywhere
up
you
my
listen to
pass.
your podcasts, or head over to bcsnnation.com/podcast. Follow at Justin Veldkamp, at Coach_Mike Robb, at BCSN Sports. Most importantly, we'll see you back here next week for week 9. It's almost playoff time, baby. We're out.